Hello, my fellow music lovers. I'm Allison Hagendorf, and welcome to the show. This is where we celebrate the universal love of music and the rock and roll spirit that lives in each of us. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I would love for you to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or follow the show if you're listening. I'm so glad you're here. My guest today is Grammy Award-winning singer, actress, and Wayne's World icon, Tia Carrere, along with her childhood friend, musical partner, and fellow Grammy Award winner, Daniel Ho. We talk all about their new album with the legendary Uncle George Kahumoku Jr. live on tour, which is up for the Grammy for Best Regional Roots. We also go over all the highs and lows that come with dedicating your life to a craft, how music is medicine, and my favorite part, we get a special exclusive performance from Tia and Daniel as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. And stay tuned after the interview for my sound advice. New music you need to know. It all starts now. I am so glad to be joined here by both of you today. And Tia and I, we met at a beautiful Hotel Wailea Maui fundraiser.
Yeah.
It was a very special evening.
At Gracias Madre.
Yes.
With all the luminaries of Hawaii.
Yes. And I feel like we were like fast friends. And for me, not only we were bonding about our mutual love of this magnificent place, but your love of music.
Yes. And it was like, hey, you do a podcast? We got a record live on tour coming out. Can we talk about a record? So cool.
Yeah, it was pretty instant.
It was a love fest.
It was a love fest. And I've been listening to your music, the two of you, and it's really special. It's so, so beautiful. And then when I realized your entire history together and your unique dynamic, that was impressive. That was
Our dynamic.
In Hawaii, we call that tira.
Tira.
She's from Kalihi, which is a rough part of Oahu.
It's where Dog the Bounty Hunter did most of his best work.
Got it. Noted. And how did you two originally connect?
I went to the all-girls Catholic school, Sacred Hearts Academy. And
I went to St. Louis High School, which was 2 blocks away.
And all boys Catholic.
Yes. I actually wanted to go to the all-girls Catholic school.
He was there often enough.
Yeah, often enough. 7 periods of PE. Okay, everyone. Let's hit the showers.
Oh, no.
Understandable.
That was pre-Me Too.
But
It's
instead,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but we met in a jazz orchestra. Daniel was doing all the charts for everybody in the orchestra at age 14. So he's genius like that. And they were auditioning for a singer.
Yes, at the time, Linda Ronstadt had an album called Lush Life.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson Riddle did all the arrangements. And my teacher, Ray Wessinger, was from Los Angeles, and he was the assistant music director at MGM.
Wow.
And had a radio at NBC, and he had a lot of experience in the industry, and he brought back with him, he retired and became a band teacher at St. Louis High School.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, and he played in Stan Kenton's band, alto sax, but he brought back these stories of Hollywood and the music scene, and I want to do that. And Ray Wessinger said, if you want to be a musician, you have to do everything I say. And I said, okay.
You're like, sign me up.
And you were capable of it. That's another thing.
He took me under his wing and he taught me how to write big band jazz arrangements in my freshman year of high school. It was very difficult for me, but we worked on studying Nelson Riddle's arrangements, and I Got a Crush on You and Someone to Watch Over Me, and played it with the band, and we needed a great vocalist. And Tia was already quite renowned for her voice in high school.
I'm renowned.
She
Age
was
14. She was renowned
around high school.
I mean, it wasn't just in your school. I mean, this is 2 blocks away, and we knew her.
Renowned, renowned around
next neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so she came over, and Mr. Wessinger heard her sing and was completely blown away. And she became the singer for the St. Louis High School Lancers, we were called.
I was a big fan of Linda Ronstadt also, so it was perfect. It just, dovetailed perfectly. I mean, I loved the arrangements. I had been practicing to those songs, so I was ready.
Who else were you listening to? Like, what had made you want to turn to music initially?
Well, I had always been, I remember when I was a kid, I was always singing in the back of the car. I didn't know the lyrics, but I would be singing to myself. I mean, that was my thing. Then my grandma took me to my first vocal lesson at age 11. And, then I entered talent contests at the local mall.
She didn't just enter them, she won them.
Oh, you were a natural.
I don't know. I still have the second place trophy right in front of my 2 Grammys just to keep me humble. This is you at second place. So don't forget
Got
that.
it. Yeah. Got it. Did you have your sights set on like Star Search and things like that, or you just wanted to keep it local?
Ironically, I did do Star Search, but the only space they had available in 1984 when I moved here, the year of the Olympics, was the acting category. Not so much with the acting category on there. It was very bizarre. I mean, how do you judge who's better? Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or, Daniel Day-Lewis? You just can't. I mean, not saying that they were all on the show, but the guy that brought me on was worried about my acting and thought he should bring me to his acting coach because I might make him look bad. So, yeah. What happened to him? Don't know.
And I think it all worked out for you.
It worked out okay for me in the end. But I met my coach, so it was great. It was great. But yeah, so I was in the acting category, but I wanted to be in the music. That was my first love.
I love
that
that's your first love, and that's what connected both of you. And you just stayed in touch through the years musically?
Yeah. And we demoed so many songs that we wrote together too, English language also.
Yeah, and then around 2006 or 7 or so, we recorded an album together called Hawaiian. And it was a very simple project with just a voice and an instrument. Like I played slack key guitar or ukulele or piano.
Yeah, all our favorite songs from childhood, basically, classic songs.
And it was nominated for a Grammy.
So excited.
And it sort of started...
Because of him?
Because we did it together. And it's that long history and singing songs we grew up with. Like Aloha.
Yes.
And from there, we recorded Ikena and Hinani and Huana Ke Aloha. And so Tia won a couple of Grammys and we're nominated for the 2 other ones.
It's so amazing. I mean, between the 2 of you, you have numerous Grammy nominations
6,
and
right?
wins.
You have 6 so far?
6 Grammys and
14 nominations?
Actually, 15.
Oh, 15. Yes.
But, thanks to my wife, we have a very small record company. My wife, Lydia, and I do. And it's very small. Like, we closed down because we're both here at the studio right now.
I got it.
We closed our doors, right?
Yes.
But we've been doing it since we've been together since
That's
2003.
Wonderful. I wanted to also feature slack key for a moment because I feel like that is a tradition that a lot of people are not aware of. Most people know ukulele and they know other styles, but slack key, I was like learning more about.
The story of slack key and the genesis of slack key.
I'd love to hear from you specifically. Yeah.
Well, it's a traditional Hawaiian style of playing, and the guitars were introduced to Hawaii by the Spanish cowboys here in California. And they were invited by the king of Hawaii to teach the Hawaiians how to manage their cattle way back when, maybe the 1800s. And when they left their instruments and didn't teach them how to tune.
Didn't teach them how to tune. And that's how the individual tuning came up. Isn't that amazing?
So interesting. Because it's really just the way it's tuned and the way it's played that makes it so different, right?
Yes. And we strive for something called nahe nahe, which is sweet and gentle. So very flowing feeling. And we do that by using as many open strings as possible. So the tuning that I play is called the G Kilauea tuning. And it's a tuning that I made up, which is based on taro patch tuning, which is the most common slack key tuning in open G chord, and standard tuning on a guitar. And I kind of put the 2 elements together to use this tuning, which I use on all of Tia's songs.
Oh, that's fascinating. Once I started to learn more about it, I kind of went in and understood the history. That's so interesting.
Almost like you want to bring Uncle George in and then show like regular traditional tuning is versus slack key tuning versus your, all the different types of tuning just to show on like 3 different guitars. It might be another show.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could give you a quick example here.
Yes, please.
So, this is tuned in the Kilauea tuning. Let's see, I'm going to put this strap on.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I'll turn it down here a little bit. But a standard tuning would be like E, A, D, And what I did was lower the bottom 3 strings down a whole step to D, G, C, G, B, E. But it's so easy to play because I have a lot of open strings. So if I play a G chord, I can play.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And you can hear everything, just all the sympathetic vibrations
Oh my
ringing.
God.
Well,
Music
now that
is
you
all
have
about the
that on
vibrations.
here, what do you think? Can we get a little magic from the two of you? If you're feeling up to it?
What about a song from Hawaiian?
Yes. What about the most famous Hawaiian song people know all over the world? Written by Queen Lilo that I got to sing in a movie, Lilo and Stich. Although that was not a very good representation. First thing in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, no warming up. I think I was a little flat and I never got to redo it, but that's all right. It had all the emotion. Ha'aheo ka'ua'i na pali ke nihi a'ela i kana hele e hai ana paha i kaliko puahi lehua o uka aloha oi aloha oi e ke ona noho i kalipo one fond embrace ahawia eyao until we meet again. This feels so good. It's just like, it just makes you like,
Wow, what a gift.
It makes me feel so good. It was like chicken skin. Like
Thank you
that's what we
for
say in Hawaii.
sharing that with me like
Thank
this. Wow.
And I also want to mention this guitar is something that I designed with Pepe Romero,
Wow.
who's a wonderful world-class classical guitar luthier.
Sound amazing.
It's
for small, yeah.
unbelievable.
It's the size of a baritone ukulele, but it's tuned exactly like a guitar.
Yeah, he's so
my God.
akamai, so smart.
It's easy to travel and it's like carry on.
Wow.
To sound like that too.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, like, first of all, you're both so talented, and to physically feel what I just felt, it was like an ocean wave and a blanket simultaneously. You know,
Nice. I
isn't
like
that incredible? The physical power of music.
Yeah. It's such a blessing. I love just the vibe, like just sit in the room and just sing and play. And, that's really Hawaii too, just sit on the back porch and play. And,
Right.
and my family get-togethers when I was a kid, everybody was expected to present a talent. Your gift you share with the world, and that's what you do.
Music is so healing. And we started out that way, just playing together and hanging out. And then I went to music school and I studied symphony analysis and, jazz and rock and all these different styles of music production and technology behind it. And I think I kind of lost that sincerity in music. And as I got...
Never. You were always been sincere.
I felt like I got a little bit technical for a bit.
Right.
As I got older, then I started to realize, like, you know what? Music is in its simplicity and just playing a single note and making it sound beautiful and letting Tia's voice be featured and supported with sound, but not check how fast I play. Look how loud I can play. Look at,
Right.
which is a lot of, vocal calisthenics or for a drummer, the best drummer is the one that plays the fastest,
Right.
which is totally not true. It's the one who can lay down the pocket that makes you feel something. And for guitar, playing with a tone and sound that would make someone feel something is it's sort of like a maturity that I kind of lost in my younger
I understand
years.
that though.
I think music is really at its highest, aspiration. It should be our soul put into sound. When you think about the nature of sound, from birth to death, it's like a sigh, a moan, a groan, a shriek. It's like all connected to our soul, and if you can express that through a musical instrument, through vocals, I mean, that's really what touches you. Is,
Absolutely.
The emotion, the intention.
Absolutely. I think it's so interesting that you both loved music from the start. It was a calling for both of you. And you have always stuck with music. Straight is your number one love and passion.
It's a calling and a curse because you have to sacrifice a lot of time
Of course.
dedicated to practicing, but also socially or
Of
family
course.
and things like that. Like
He doesn't watch television. Does not have a television in his house. Does not watch TV.
Really?
and I'm
Because you're
Wow.
always just creating and composing?
And I'm completely uneducated. So I kind of locked myself into this path by not giving myself any options. And I think it's hard for, unlike myself, an intelligent person could be an engineer. They could be a doctor. They could be a lawyer. They could be a computer programmer. I didn't really have any options. I only did one thing and I decided this is all I'm going to do. I'm never going to do anything else. And I just got to get really good at it and hopefully it'll work out.
Well, it required that focus and that dedication to be where you are today. I mean, you've a plethora of Grammys under your belt. You guys are setting out to get another one. It requires that type of focus and dedication. And most people are not like Tia, who can have an entire other career, which, by the way, it sort of happened accidentally and wasn't really planned.
Yeah, it's interesting. Our paths are so different, but also to come back together and just
went like this,
and then
Yeah.
back around. It's awesome. But yeah, I feel like the weirdo in the back alley with the trench coat. Hey, you want a corkscrew? You don't want that? Okay. What about a can opener? What you want, a lighter? It's a pack of matches? I
used to
act,
do that.
I sing, I dance.
So many
like,
talents,
what can I sell? You don't want to buy this? Like, I'm not acting right now. So I'm going to be singing. I don't know, it's like, but I mean, it's like the olden days, the MGM performers would sing and act and dance. And, I look forward to writing a book and I'm writing a script now. And
It's
all kinds of stuff.
amazing.
It's
Well,
creativity.
I feel like the public got to know your first musical abilities, of course, when you were in Wayne's World. You were so musical in that movie. I don't know if people realize that you sang all of your parts. Right? So from a musical perspective.
When I auditioned for Wayne's World, they asked me, "Can you sing?" It's not necessary. We could dub you in. I'm like, "Can I sing?" No, and then I pulled out my best Pat Benatar. I'm like, "Hit it with your best shot."
Yes.
And
perfect.
But I had to learn how to play the bass, which was a little bit of rubbing my stomach and patting my hat. I don't know how you do that because it's
It is difficult.
the
But
rhythm
you
is completely
rocked
different.
it. I mean, you created an entire movement. To this day, people talk about you singing and playing bass. Like you became a role model for so many women, young girls, and men and every gender.
It's
that was a moment.
quite something considering the fact that I didn't actually play bass. I should have kept up with it. When I met Darren Criss, he and his wife actually played Ballroom Blitz, I think, at their wedding reception. And she's a bassist. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I loved you in Wayne's World." And it's really cool to see that, even though I was just playing in film, just to have that sort of influence. So
You did
honored.
and continue to do. And that film itself, of course, introducing Bohemian Rhapsody and Queen to an entire new generation. And that is so cool when any form of medium or pop culture, whether it's a film or it's TikTok, introducing iconic music to a whole new generation, and I would say that Wayne's World is one of the best examples of that because I think that Mike Myers fought to have Bohemian Rhapsody. It was supposed to be like Guns N' Roses or something.
Yeah, they tried to talk him out of it, but I mean, it was a whole nother resurgence for the song.
Yeah.
It's hopefully somebody will put our music in a film. Oh,
Right?
it's been used in films. Didn't we have like Carlos the Jackal and Train to Busan had our Aloha Oi,
Hawaii Five-0.
Hawaii Five-0. That's
Right.
right, and your song in Sarah Marshall, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Music and film.
That's
Do you want
right.
to talk
Let's
about that?
talk about part of it.
Let's share what you would like to share about it because regardless of how it went down, and feel free to share or not, it is your beautiful voice and your Hawaiian translation of some of these iconic songs. I mean, how did that come about?
Well, I got an email from someone asking if I knew anyone that sung in Hawaiian. Totally vague. So I sort of half answered it. And sometimes I don't answer it. I answer it, well, what's it for? So I can, think about what vocalist would match this role. And I said, it's for a movie, and it was signed Universal. Whatever.
Yes.
The second email had Universal in there. Said, okay, I sing. So
Okay, I can do it.
I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't call me.
You're like, damn, I got this one. Yeah.
It's going to be a long ride
It all
home.
comes out.
Here we go. I'm going to punch you again.
So I did, and they needed someone to translate these songs, These Boots Are Made for Walking, Everybody Hurts, and Nothing Compares to You, into Hawaiian. And so Amy Ku'ulealoha Stillman, who actually wrote all the lyrics to Tia's albums, so it's my songwriting partner, did the translations, and I sang two of them, and my friend Faith sang These Boots Are Made for Walking. And they were going to choose one to be the closing credits. So they were going to put all the songs on the soundtrack and choose one to be the closing credits. And 2 weeks before the show, the supervisor called and said, I got good news for you. And that is Nothing Compares to You is going to be the closing credits. And that's only part of the story.
Right.
But it became a hit because
Yes.
people all over the place were emailing me and said, hey, that's an incredible song. The Hawaiian language is so beautiful.
Yes.
Never heard it sung that way before. And because it was associated with such a powerful, popular, world famous song,
Yes.
they got to hear, how it would be presented in Hawaiian. So it was a great honor to do that.
I went back and listened to your versions of all three of those songs, and they are stunning. They really are beautiful. The language itself is so beautiful. And I'm sorry, but Nothing Compares to You is one of the greatest songs ever written. Of course, Prince is one of the greatest.
Who didn't break up to that, right?
Right. It's like, and you know what? Every version of that song, whether it's your version, Prince's, Sinead O'Connor's version, every
O'Connor.
version of that song, that's how you know a song as a songwriter.
Yes.
That's how when you know a song is one of the best, period, because it can be interpreted countless ways and every single way is perfect.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I just released an all acoustic version of Nothing Compares to You in Hawaiian called Aohe Like on my album, Playing Through Changes.
Oh.
And I just wanted to do like kind of a stripped down acoustic version of it. And so
Yes, the pandemic brought a lot of creativity out of people, or just laid you out on the couch watching TV. I felt like during the pandemic, I had to put out that song I did 15 years ago, that crazy old country
Still
song. Yeah, this country song that has been sitting around for 15 years. One of the songwriters actually passed away at this point, and it felt like I'm Still Here was a song that I just had to put out because just to celebrate still being here,
I love that song, and that video is
and
really beautiful.
And it's I didn't put it out through traditional channels. I just wanted everybody to be able to access it for free and just feel like, yeah, we're still here. So
Of
the anthem
course.
is still standing after this horrible thing that happened to the world.
Yes, that is such an empowering song. You have such a wide range. I mean, you can sing kind of anything, You really can. I mean, we were hanging out here. You just start singing whatever it is. I'm like, oh my God, you can sing that too. I mean,
Jazz show coming up next week. I mean, I'm a vocalist. I love playing, and that's the Sandbox. All kinds of music. But I mean, the open vowels of Hawaiian language are particularly resonant, I think. That's why you really feel the vibration in the room singing, Aloha Oi.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
air and the vibration is really stunning in the Hawaiian language.
Uncle George, I mean, he is, what is he called? Like the Renaissance man of Hawaii.
He's an amazing human being. When he talks about everything so knowledgeably, especially farming, because he knows so much about the land and fishing and diving. And, he'd walk you through his farm. He has a small 2-acre farm on Maui, and he'd just go down the line and mention each tree, and that's good for this, and this is good for that's medicine for that, and the Koreans use this to make that, and he'll make a bucket of kimchi and salted duck eggs, and he'll put the taro above and have the ducks weed the taro patch and have the water go down to the fish pond. Like everything works, even with the slope of the hillside. And you think this guy's just making it up because nobody can know all of this, but he really does. And he teaches other people. He has, people come over and you peel your own taro and you eat it. You pull your own vegetables and you have a salad before lunch. And so it's kind of an exchange. And he's teaching.
He has those clinics too, music and farming. And people will come and clear the land and he teaches them about the land.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
he taught me Hawaiian music since 1997. He was doing a California tour and one of the main slack key masters couldn't make it. And sight unseen and song unheard, a friend recommended me and Uncle George said, yeah, okay, bring him along. He can take his place. Never heard me play before.
But that's amazing. Yeah.
On stage with him, right? And he's a professional, but that's how open he is. And that was the beginning of our relationship. We've recorded 14 or 15 albums since then. And 4 of them, were those slack key Grammy albums. And he's an amazing person. His
generosity of spirit. And he shares his time. I mean, like when we went to the MAC, we performed at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, and he's like, hey, I teach at the school. He's teaching college kids about music and history, and just he
mentors a lot.
He really does. He mentors like generations.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a beautiful person, very humble.
So what does it mean to you to have the 3 of you involved in this beautiful, body of work?
Well, what I think is really cool is that Uncle George is a traditional slack key master. He was on the Dancing Cat label, but he's been playing since he was a kid. And so he brings that real traditional sound. And my approach to music is quite different because I studied film composition and arranging and classical and jazz, whatever. So I have a lot of different kinds of elements like jazz or classical elements and counterpoint and things like that in the music that Tia and I do. And Tia brings just a beautiful sound to our music, and her voice has the air and the melodic sense.
Different approach that you would normally hear in Hawaiian music.
So you would think like these 3 people are also different, because our musical styles are so different. But even though we look alike.
But I think it makes for a really beautifully rounded show,
We cover a lot of bases.
Yeah, talk to me about the live show.
When we go on tour, it's first of all, it's effortless. We just love hanging out, schlepping through the airport, and we just have a good time, just good vibes. And then we get up on stage and, Uncle tells stories.
Aww.
And, we get up and we all play together, and then he plays on his own, and then Daniel plays on his own, and then invites me up. And it's just this great, like, melange, this stew. It's just like so filling and so fun and awesome. It's great.
It's a part of Hawaii. That's kind of in a performance setting, like a concert hall or whatever. But, it's the back porch style of playing music, getting together and just sharing. So it's very comfortable. And I think this album we just did live on tour captures that, those decades of playing together for Tia and I and Uncle George too. We've been playing together a long time.
Yeah, so we recorded on this last tour that we did just because it was so, the vibes were awesome and it sounded great and it was so well matched, even though very disparate ways of approaching, stuff than you've heard before. And then, when we recorded it was like, holy cow,
this is
we didn't know what we
beautiful.
had. We just wanted to make
Yeah.
a demo, just
Yeah.
to have like, hey, we're sounding pretty good. It was towards the end of the tour,
Uh-huh.
and we were somewhere, and we should film it before we're done with this tour.
Of course.
So Tia went to Target and bought a hard drive, and
I'm like, what
found
kind of hard drive? Okay, this one? Okay.
and then we found someone, the afternoon of to videotape it. And this venue, multi-track, recorded it. And we didn't know what we had until I got home and looked at it and heard it. And I was like, wow, this is something. Let's just make an album with it.
And there's no hiding on it. That's what I love about it. It's like, so many people can do the bells and the whistles and auto-tune and everything.
Mhm.
But this is what we sound like in the room. And that's exciting to sound like
Yes.
that. And record quality.
Of course, just how the authenticity of it.
Mhm.
Exactly. I mean, the impromptu couple minutes I had just here, I mean, that was unbelievable. So I can't even imagine what the whole thing with Uncle George and the three, you're like a triumvirate, the three of you. You're like
Oh,
this
my.
trifecta.
We're like a triad.
Yes, it's just it's really a gift. I mean, both of you are so accomplished at this point, musically and beyond. Multiple Grammys, hoping to get another Grammy for your repertoire. Do you feel successful? Are you where you always hoped you would be musically?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't think you ever are. I mean, I'm still climbing. I'm still striving. There's still more to do. I don't know how you feel.
I feel like I have so much to learn, especially when I go on social media. I'm like, oh my God, she's 3 years old and she plays better than I do. And he's only 5. It's just amazing to see what human beings are capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I should stay off that stuff because it really messes with my head.
It's true. It's true, though. You have to navigate it well.
Yeah.
There are great things about it, like young people or any age person seeing someone playing an instrument and like, I want to do that. That's inspiring. Or you can learn and self-teach and all those things are great. But then when you start comparing yourself to other people, that's where the darkness comes.
Yeah.
For all of us. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, nobody puts their bad days. Nobody puts their suck days on social media. They're putting their peak experiences. Like every single day is like that,
Of
course,
Tia,
it's PR.
Even if I put my best day on a piano, it wouldn't be as good as that 3-year-old. So that's what I'm talking about. That's like, they're not faking that. They're just like, iPhone and playing this concerto at home. Like, oh, geez, like I'll never in my lifetime. And I work at it. It's not like I don't work at it, but some people are talented.
I think you're doing just fine.
I was going to
brother.
say, I think you're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just calm down there, mister. I play everything and do all the charts for everything.
Jack of all trades, master of none, right? That's how.
And you are a mother of now an 18-year-old.
Yes,
That's a huge milestone.
Yeah, 18 years old. Wait, that makes me how old? No! Wait a minute. I was never very good at math. So I'm just not going to try.
Oh, I mean, how does that feel? That's a big milestone.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the college years. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And you have a little one.
I do. I have 2. I have 2 little baby boys,
Oh.
1 and 3.
Yeah,
Wow.
Daniel started young.
I have a little one. She's less than 5 feet tall.
You're not going to tell us how old she is
She's
yet.
27.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's got
my
a grown-up woman.
But she's
Hi,
still
Leah.
a little one.
And he's
looks
got
like
a
she's
song
12.
called Leah.
Oh,
I do, yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
What role has parenthood sort of played in your journey?
It's a huge distraction.
It's true. It's true. Gotta keep it real.
I can't go on tour for a year, for instance.
Right.
But she's pretty. Once she starts driving, she
Yeah.
doesn't drive yet. I don't know, this whole generation of kids that doesn't drive. I don't understand.
Well, my daughter doesn't drive.
Well, she lives in San Francisco, so she's got
that's
like
true.
autonomous vehicles. You just like go into your phone and it comes and it drives, and it's
it's true.
terrifying.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier in this conversation about the curse of music
Mhm.
or having this kind of passion, I am not a good son and I'm not a good father
Oh,
because I could have been there more for my dad when he wasn't well. He had a stroke many years ago. And, to be a parent, you have to dedicate your life to nurturing this child, not just education, but values as well.
Mhm.
And musicians can be a little obsessed and selfish. Not at times, like almost all the time. Because even if you're with the person, you're thinking about what if I went that way with the melody and I changed the chord to this, like you're at the playground and that's in your head, right? Or maybe you think about your next show or the next, project you want to work on, right? And so honestly, it is a huge distraction, and it is in a way kind of not I shouldn't use the word curse because
it's the great tragedy of like you want to be there for your kid 110%, but you also want to be there for your creativity and that obsession 110%. And and you can't do both, and you can't do both well. It's really hard.
But raising your children well is far more important, I think.
Aw. And your children can often become a muse for your art and for your creative, like your songwriting.
Oh, I don't know. My daughter's like, I don't want to be here. Hey, honey, will you come in? No.
They're not fans of your work, or they.
Well, it's conflicting.
My daughter could care less.
Well, it's conflicting because it's taking you
away. It takes me away.
It takes you away.
Even going to a movie premiere, I'm excited, but then people are coming up to me and talk to me, and I don't get to be there in that moment with her. So
I understand.
Yeah.
We're just keeping it real.
No, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
But don't tell anyone.
No.
That's why I love seeing Pink on tour with her kid, and that's amazing.
That is amazing.
But for me, as I worried for just because of the the flash and the sparkle of public life. Are people paying attention to them or doting on them because the parent is famous or whatever? And then it kind of warps their view of the world too. So I kind of, wanted her to be up in the mountains and Topanga to be more, down and more normal and not have to worry about, do these pants make my butt look fat at age 8? You know what I mean? I don't want to have that sort of self-awareness so young. And I think turned out to be a pretty solid kid. But it's hard. It's hard. That's the balancing act of
course,
being a creative person and, making a living at it and having a family. And, it takes a toll on both sides.
Of course.
Everybody pays.
You're absolutely right.
And going back to what we were talking about earlier, for as hard as I've tried and as many years as that I've put into this, I'm still not as good as that 3-year-old. You know what I mean?
It's just different days now. It's a different time. It's a different time.
It's true. I'm not kidding, man.
Let's do deep cuts.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Deep cuts. The first cut is the deepest.
That's right. That's right. We love
I'm all
Cheryl.
open. I'm all vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now.
Name a song, album, or artist that changed your life.
Well, for me, we were talking about it already. Linda Ronstadt and Blue Bayou. That was my go-to karaoke song. I sang it in hotel bars when I went to go visit my family in Samoa, Blue Bayou, singing about this longing for this island life. So it's always resonated with me.
I love that.
I would say for me as a kid, She's Always a Woman by Billy Joel. It has classical Bach-like chord progressions in there, the lyrics, the contrast, the melodic sense, the key changes, and the way Billy Joel sang and played it. I think that's like one of the best songs ever written.
Those are two perfect answers. Wow. Really? I love that. Is she still your go-to karaoke?
Yeah. I love that song. It makes me feel like that moment of singing Aloha Oi. It gives me that feeling in, my heart when I sing the song. It just almost makes you want to cry, that longing.
What was the first concert that impacted you?
Oh gosh. I came with my grandma to LA. I think I was like 12 years old, and we went to the Forum and saw Van Halen.
Oh, it's amazing.
Sat in the very last row of the Forum. I thought I was going to fall down and die because I was like, it's really, really high and the rake was crazy. And saw Van Halen and David Lee Roth flying around that stage. I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
That was bananas.
That's awesome.
Mine would be the Commodores.
Whoa.
At the Blaisdell. And they had the sparkly outfit. And,
Lionel Richie.
3 times
beautiful.
a lady.
Oh,
Still
my God.
easy.
I just saw him singing recently at Bianca's school. He sang the
What?
fundraiser.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't
Okay,
tell
that
you.
Thank
wins.
you.
Yeah,
I was
that
in the front, like in the front of the. I was like holding his hand as he's singing.
Oh
no
my
way.
God.
Yes.
That's incredible.
That guy is a
Oh my
songwriter.
God.
His voice is still
He's
stunning.
also gorgeous.
Flawless.
He's ageless.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's impeccable.
yeah, his
3
voice
times
is.
a lady.
Yeah.
Or Easy Like Sunday Morning.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sail On.
Oh, man.
Oh my
I
god.
know.
All night long.
All night long. Yeah.
long.
Stuck on
Song
You. like
after song.
I could listen to him all night
Truly.
long.
Yes.
Endless Love. I mean,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. That would be my karaoke go-to for duet. Endless Love.
Oh, that's a good one. You guys should do that. You guys should do it together. That's maybe Lionel will ask you to do it with him.
Yeah, you should.
You and
do
Lionel,
something
you should
with
have suggested
him.
it.
Okay, you know what?
You didn't get his number.
Putting it out
Right
there,
here.
Lionel. Putting it out there.
I want to do the Diana Ross part, but he could have Diana Ross sing with him. So why would he have me try and approximate the Diana Ross part?
Maybe
All right.
after your
That's
Grammy.
Yes,
maybe with 3 times a Grammy.
That's right.
He'll sing with me.
Amazing. What's your favorite movie?
Wayne's World, what's yours?
That's not true. Big fat liar.
I mean, Wayne's World is pretty epic. Yeah.
I love Blade Runner.
Oh,
My
yeah.
2 favorites are Blade Runner and Thelma and Louise.
Oh, great.
And it's so interesting that they're both directed by Ridley Scott, completely different films. And independently, I love the movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize they were both directed by him.
yeah.
Crazy.
Those are great picks.
Love Blade Runner.
Mine is kind of corny, but
That's surprising, considering how suave and debonair you are. And you don't tell corny jokes at all. And that's the nature of our relationship.
Yes, totally.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, I
That's
love
not
that.
corny.
That's
It's
an
a great
amazing
movie.
I just
That's
love.
an amazing movie.
What was his girlfriend's name? Wright.
Jenny?
Robin Wright.
Robin
Jenny.
Wright.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just so touching. Like
So
I practically,
good.
I think I cried in that
Oh,
part.
Yeah.
definitely. 100%.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But the way it addressed current issues and news and things that we all know about and put it all together in one movie, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, it really was.
And talk about a soundtrack. I mean, wow.
Mhm.
That was another way to introduce music to a whole new generation. That music was iconic.
Yes.
So
But he was
good.
like innocent. His innocence and open-heartedness,
Yeah.
I think, really spoke to a lot of people. You know.
Bought
Yeah.
a fruit company.
You guys might win for the best answers, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Favorite meal or cuisine?
Spam musubi, man. We don't sing about it just for some BS. It's because I'm obsessed with spam. All kinds of ways of eating spam. Spam etouffee. Spam on a stick.
Teriyaki spam.
Spam on rice. Spam with seaweed.
Champuru with spam.
Caramelized spam.
Perfect. There we go.
Spam ice cream.
Ooh. No.
No, we'll stop it at
What's
spam
that?
ice
Okay,
cream.
what's that?
But actually,
Yeah.
maybe that.
Spam ice cream.
So
I just made
innovative.
that up. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I'm going to try that. Deep fried spam.
Right. What is your most prized possession?
If I possess them, my child. I don't know.
Possession meaning like an item, not a person, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, fine. I can't possess a person. All right, fine. Now I'm confused.
It's whatever you want.
My most prized possession is my child.
Aw.
My greatest achievement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I would say, if there was a zombie apocalypse,
The one thing you would take with you?
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably be an ukulele.
Yeah.
Because
The tiny tenor.
yeah,
Yeah.
the tiny tenor is an instrument, an ukulele that I designed with Pepe Romero, and I've been making music with it for a dozen years, and it's a part of, it's unique to my sound and who I
Aw.
am.
Okay, my voice then. The air that I carry in my lungs.
These are great questions.
I
Keep
love
them coming.
it. Okay.
Keep them coming.
What is something your fans would be surprised to learn about you?
I'll go first. I didn't get by on my looks.
Oh, again, punch. He's so
How
silly.
do you come up with these?
He's so silly. He's like the self-defecating humor. And I know exactly what I just said. I did not make a mistake.
Yeah. I love
This is
it.
why we just sit around and just laugh all day. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
That's why going on tour is fun. Gosh. They would be surprised by my I don't know, incredibly low self-esteem. It's just the way it is. It's that you put yourself out there just like, I'm going to be seen, I'm going to achieve, but then there's something that foundationally that you lacked as a child. I think that there's something to that as a performer.
Mhm.
You come to Hollywood, all the beautiful girls that come to Hollywood at 16, 17 years old, they didn't come here because they came from good families. They didn't come here because they came from solid backgrounds. Those are at debutante balls. They're,
Mhm.
in their home, they're going into, sororities or whatever, they're going to college. The girls that come to town from Charlize Theron on down, they're survivors. They
Right.
are fighting for their lives. They're here because they have to be, because they, whatever.
So Tia has inspired me in so many ways, but I think what I learned from her is just courage and strength and fortitude. And I'm the kind of person, because I'm not an alpha. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're
you picked
undercover
that
out.
up,
You're
right?
undercover
You're
alpha.
very aggressive. I'm offended all the time. Yeah.
But I cannot put myself out there, and I cannot deal with the rejection. I'm the guy who went to the high school dance and stood with my back against the wall and never had the courage to ask someone to dance because I'm afraid of rejection. I work for myself because I cannot put myself out there and leave it to someone else
To be
to
judging you.
decide whether or not I'm going to work or not. So I don't do that. And I curate my life to be so, because I personally can't take it. But Tia is so powerful. She will go and do and be out there and try. And her success is a result of, along with her talent, but that drive
A
and
driving fear of lack
Not
and
fear.
homelessness. No, I'm just kidding.
no,
I'm making a
it's
joke.
like she does it. And then now, as of like last year, when we talked about, I said, Tia, I gotta start trying because I'm 55 now, and it's like I better go for its time.
Every
But
time you
you're
put a
my
record up for-
inspiration.
Every time you put a record up for Grammy, you're putting yourself in harm's way and slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. It's sort of like you just have to do it. I mean, for me, it's like there's no plan B. This is it. I'm all in
Me
at the
too.
table. There's nothing else I'm qualified to do,
Mhm.
But I hang
That's
out
it.
at home and I'm not interacting with people, and I'm just making things, and I'm selling it directly to the audience. Yeah, go to danielho.com and you find the records and books and whatever.
Right.
I'm not leaving my future up to one person.
I hear that. But Tia, when you hear Daniel speak about you like that, and you say, "Oh, I'm actually more insecure than people realize," so does that mean your drive is based on survival? You just don't think it's like a primal.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I've always been in survival mode. I think I'm a little more relaxed than I used to be, and I take the time out to do things that my heart wants to do, and have
Mhm.
fun in a way that I didn't allow myself before. And having a child made a huge difference in that you have to unplug and you have to just be. But it's been a fitful, journey to get to that place. I think I spent too much time alone as a teen, and I was like, I will never be left alone again. I will never be invisible. I will never be,
Yeah.
that depressed teen in my bedroom,
Mhm.
and that's what's driven me. This has gotten very self-revelatory. We're supposed to be talking about rock and roll and
I
music.
do have that tendency. It's
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit of both. It's a little bit of
I
both.
know. It's like,
Well, it's music is medicine, so
Mhm.
that's sort of the recurring
yeah,
theme.
it is.
Yeah,
Music
it
is my medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Creating is my medicine.
Oh,
Isn't it for you? Like, it's just like,
It is. I can just put an instrument on and feel the vibration against my body. And if I was sad, I'd be happy right away.
Mhm.
It does make you feel that way. Um, I can't imagine life without it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like a blankie. It's your
And it's different from
Yeah.
listening
guitar.
to it. Making music is a little different from listening to it because you're
Mhm.
actually creating those vibrations.
Absolutely. What are words you live by?
So I grew up Catholic, just a little background. Catholic grade school, St. Patrick's, and Catholic high school, St. Louis. And I went to Catholic church, until in my mid-20s. But I realized something so simple. And these are words that I live by. Do good things and good things will come.
Yes.
And I feel like it doesn't matter what religion, if everyone just did that, we wouldn't need all the rules and regulations and books and beliefs and faiths and whatever, because while they can be good, they can also be a way of manipulating the masses, which they have been used for and are being used for. And we wouldn't have that problem because just do good things. If everybody on earth just did that, we wouldn't have wars.
That's true.
But then, no one's going to be taking collections.
Well, that's
the homily.
I mean, like,
So
do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yes.
The golden rule. That's
Yes.
it. That's,
Yes. You're
yes,
absolutely right.
That's what I believe in. I guess you could call it karma if you want to use that word, but I found it to be true.
yeah, that's mine. Do
It's yours also,
do unto
yeah.
others as you would have them do unto you.
Of course.
Always treat each other with respect and kindness and, simple. Keep it simple.
Yes. Well, thank you both. I am so
Thank
glad I got to spend this time
you.
with you.
Thank
Wow, what a gift it
you.
was just to hear you speak about your journeys and to share your music with me right here. I mean, that was amazing. I will cherish that. That was really special.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
best of
Allison.
luck. I'm excited. I hope you
Thank
add a couple more
you.
Grammys under
Live
your
on
belt.
tour, best regional roots, please.
Yes. Yes. And what's up, Uncle George?
Yeah.
Oh, I just love this one so much. Wishing Tia and Daniel the best of luck, and I am so grateful they performed on the show as well. That was truly special. I'm just still on a high from that. It is now time for my sound advice, new music you need to know on the Allison Hagendorf Show playlist. Kicking it off this week with a song by New York band Oxymorons. This song is the perfect sonic representation of their unique blend of rock and hip hop, and is personal for me as well because it's about the tragic passing of our mutual friend Nedick, who was actually my very first boyfriend back in elementary school. This song is for him, a founding member of the band Game Rebellion, an integral part of the Afro-punk movement, a unifying force, a light, a dear friend. We love you, Nedick. Check out Oxymorons, Look Alive, Nedick. Next up is the latest from Essex band Bad Nerves. I am telling you, this band is on the ascent. They just toured with Royal Blood, and they'll be touring with The Darkness on their sold-out UK tour later this year. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day and Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam are fans as well, so I'm in good company here. Check out the latest from Bad Nerves, USA. Also this week is a new song from LA alt rocker Indio Downey. Indio said this is a love song about previous addiction. It's an emotional roller coaster that spans from fond memories to sadness and rage. I am hearing so much grunge goodness and Nirvana influences on this, so you know I am loving it. Listen to the latest from Indio Downey, Plastic Rainbow. That's my sound advice this week. Search for the Allison Hagendorf Show playlist wherever you listen to music. Thank you so much, as always, for being part of the Allison Hagendorf Show. New episodes drop every Friday, so make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. You can find the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can also watch the show on YouTube. I would love to hear from you, so please like, comment, rate, review, whatever you're feeling, and reach out to me on socials at Allie Hagendorf. I would love to connect with you. Let me know who I should interview next and what new music I should feature on my sound advice. Thanks again. I'll see you next week. And remember, you're a rock star.